This week on the final installment of Sister Wives One-on-One No-Tell Tell-All, Robyn still continues to try to bring tears to her eyes. And she has funny little sayings like,
"And why are you looking at my orange? You have an apple."
"Yeah, Janelle, just enjoy a little teeny tiny apple."
You know, it's not better. It's just different.
Yeah, like $850,000 in difference. Cody says perhaps the most disgusting thing any father has ever said about his sons.
If one of my little children were to die because somebody had to get his pencil wet, that made me so mad.
Janelle sums up the problem with Cody in one concise sentence.
Cody always wants to find a reason, aside from looking at himself, to justify why he's having a problem with you.
Hello and welcome to Reality Recap, where I recap all of the trashiest reality shows. This week, we are recapping Sister Wives Tell All Part 3. If you are new here, my name is Heather. I have a degree in psychology. It's through that lens that I watch these shows and make my comments. Of course, I have not met with any of these people, so everything that I see is simply an opinion. My channel is a little bit of education and a whole lot of snark.
Sister Wives One-on-One.
Okay, so the third part starts out with Snooki. That would be hilarious if Snooki was actually asking these questions. I think she'd be a little bit more in his face.
What are you talking about? You're so mean.
How do you describe your relationship with Robyn? Is Robyn the favorite wife?
You know, that's the most unfair question.
You don't want to talk about her?
No.
Let's watch this clip.
I have somebody in my life who is fundamentally loyal to me, who sees me as the head of the family, who negotiates. I'm saying to you that you and I get that if you're loyal to me.
The idea of sides is very typical for narcissists. There is their side, and then anybody who doesn't agree with them is on the enemy's side. Janelle being friends with Christine is causing him a lot of problems. We'll talk about that later. But right now what I want to focus on is the fact that he's telling Janelle, if you want to be in a relationship with me, you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z. You're going to have to be loyal to me. You're going to have to behave in a specific way. And then you will get what you want when you give me what I want. There isn't just a carrot with that. There's also punishment. For example, Janelle was living in an RV. She doesn't have the same finances that Robyn has because she's not a yes person. So it's not just that you're getting a benefit if you act this way. You're also getting consequences when you go against what the narcissist wants. So to encapsulate Cody's whole argument here is that Robyn isn't getting preferential treatment. She's getting treated differently because she's loyal to him. She's doing what he expects her to do, and that's why she's getting more favor.
You know, this isn't a new complaint, that Cody favors me. I'm not getting some preferential treatment.
Cody and I have a good relationship, but it doesn't look like Robyn's relationship with him.
I feel like to Cody, Robyn's more important.
Christine wasn't ever happy unless she was getting more than everybody else.
But when she looks at you and Robyn with envy, with jealousy.
Does that make me or Robyn bad?
No.
I wanna know. No. Stop where you are going. Christine watches me and Robyn. Robyn watched me and Christine. If Christine was envious
Or wanted that connection with you.
does that make Robyn and I bad?
No, it doesn't.
Keep saying that because all of everybody is looking at that as some kind of unfairness. That's the danger of polygamy.
See what he did there? See, he's still not responsible, is he? This is one of the problems of polygamy, that people feel like they get treated differently and they get upset about it. The problem with this is that it's blatant that one person is being treated differently than another, and everyone can see it. And it's not just that one person who's seeing it, it's other spouses that are seeing it, it's children that are seeing it. So this is actually happening. This is actually, he is showing preferential treatment to one person. Of course, if you want to dismantle a group, show favoritism to one, make another person the scapegoat, and watch the insanity that ensues. And he's created this recipe for complete disaster and at the same time absolved himself of any responsibility within it.
If she is saying, I want that connection.
That is on the merits of the relationship. Be the kind of person that's giving and loving, okay? It's not about a favorite. It's about finding favor.
Again, he's saying, if you want to be loved by me, you have to behave in a very specific way, and then I will give you what you want, but you first have to give me what I deserve. And it's like an automatic thing that I deserve love and I deserve to be treated this way, and you have to prove that you're lovable by acting in a way that I think is important.
The words Christine uses incite enmity toward Robyn. There's a character issue here. Do you want to find favor by being loyal to me and never allowing somebody to trash talk me? Or do you want to sit here and be the one who's trash talking?
This is very black and white thinking. There's no middle ground. It's either you are a trash talker or you abstain completely from trash talking. Trash talking is pretty normal. Venting is pretty normal. Are there better ways to do it? Sure. Is it the best thing to do for a relationship? No. But it does happen. And Christine was saying that even he used to vent to her about other wives too. So he's guilty of what he's accusing everybody else of doing. It's a pretty normal human thing to do.
Robyn puts up her dukes if you talk me.
Robyn doesn't have a close relationship with any of the other wives.
I think Cody values loyalty.
Cody and I had something special. We really honestly had something super, super special and super fun and super awesome. But then when I needed his help and he wouldn't give it to me, it kind of was this click where I'm like, I've done everything for you and you can't give this to me. And then he and Robyn met and he was everything for her, it seemed like.
And the dynamics changing.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, she made that happen. She was the one that made choices. Janelle's the one that made choices. They handed him to me. We don't want to spend time with him, basically. Here, you have him all the time. Wasn't feeling like he could go over there because of his personal beliefs.
I don't know this for a fact, but I suspect that Robyn created these COVID rules. I think Cody knew that if he was going to be able to stay at Robyn's house, he would have to comply with the COVID rules. He prefers Robyn. He wants to spend time with Robyn. He's going to deal with whatever it is she wants him to do. He's going to do it. I also think that he uses COVID as a way of staying where he wanted to stay. Remember, he didn't even give the rules to anyone until November.
You did not give me those rules till 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. Until Thanksgiving, I had no rules.
And do you remember he had to get them from the babysitter? Like the babysitter wrote down what she was doing and then he turned that into these are my rules. Why do I think these rules were Robyn's rules? Well, let's go to the clip where she displays how she controls Cody from behind.
But Meri's been quarantined literally for weeks now. Would you be comfortable with her helping us with Ari and Saul?
How was everybody else going to see that, Cody?
Now's not the time to modify the rules, I guess.
No. Truly, if she starts walking towards you, back up. You have got to, like, keep your distance from people. Ari.
I think this is a clear indication that these are Robyn's rules and not Cody's. Cody couldn't care less. He's not maintaining the distance or anything. Robyn is the one who's freaking out, correcting people, and she even gets Cody involved.
I'm trying as hard as I can to follow the rules, okay?
I'm supposed to be helping you, and I kind of checked out. Solomon! Truly, you guys are supposed to be 6 feet apart.
Robyn has figured out a way to direct Cody without him being aware she's doing it. Here's another example.
Got a little bit of chocolate on it.
You did that for me?
Yep.
And I saw Robyn tell him to make it for me.
You said you put Cody up to that.
I don't know.
Is that true?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So I'm pretty convinced that all of these COVID rules are Robyn's. Cody is taking the blame for them because he doesn't want other people to see her as the bad guy. But I think this pressure is beginning to weigh on Cody. And I think this scene displays that perfectly. Look at where Cody is looking when he's saying these things. I think it's because he's telling Robyn, hey, I'm doing this for you and I'm getting blamed.
You know what? Everybody put this on me.
No.
You know what? Everybody put this on me.
No.
I could be reading too much into this, but when I originally saw this scene, I felt the subtext was him saying, like, why am I getting all the blame? This is for you. So now we're going to go back to Robyn talking about Christine's relationship with Cody.
She had something with Cody. She did not take care of it.
When two people are in a relationship, it's both partners' responsibility to maintain that relationship. It's not just the wife's responsibility. It's not just the husband's responsibility. But it sounds like she's putting this all squarely on Christine's shoulders as if it was her responsibility to maintain things.
Cody wants a soulmate experience with each one of his wives.
This almost sounds like a product description. This is a soulmate experience and you're going to enjoy it. And it seems strange to think of marriage as a product that you're selling to your husband.
In my marriage, I'm going to treat this person like my best customer.
A customer-client experience is very superficial. It's very transactional. And I understand what she's attempting to say here, but I think she's telling us more about herself than she realizes. Does Robyn see marriage as a service she's providing?
He's had wives reject him affection-wise because they are uncomfortable or they don't like it.
Oh man, this is juicy. So Cody can tell this information to Robyn, but his wives can't trash talk him? Make that make sense.
I'm sorry, but if you're rejecting someone's affection, your spouse, I don't see how that's going to help your relationship. If you're sitting there just constantly nagging at your husband about what you didn't get, even though you have this apple in your hand, but you really want her orange, then how is he supposed to feel like you see what he's doing for you?
The distillation of serious arguments and of what we've seen over these past series, Robyn's acting as if a woman is like complaining about socks being left on the floor and she won't sleep with her husband because he doesn't put dishes into the dishwasher. We have seen financial abuse. We have seen his children be neglected. We have seen him alienate himself from Meri and Christine. What Robyn is saying doesn't wash. We've all seen the reality of what's going on in these relationships, and it's much more than nagging wives that won't sleep with their adoring husband.
Relationships are hard. Get your butt in there and work it out.
Robyn is presenting as very self-assured here and knowledgeable in how to handle marriages. What I think is happening on a subconscious level, that is, she is not aware that she's doing this for herself, is she is feeling tremendous anxiety about the strength of her own marriage. So what I think she's doing subconsciously to soothe herself is to say, hey, this is what you do to keep your marriage strong. And you do X, you do Y, you do Z. And that's how my marriage is going to last because I'm willing to do these things. And these marriages didn't work out with these other women, not because my husband is problematic, but because they weren't willing to do their part in the marriage. And I think that makes her feel safer because at least in that instance, she's in control. She's in the driving seat.
I get so tired of Counselor Robyn. It just feels like she's placating him. My boys feel just as rejected by this. He still is acting like they need to come to him. And I'm like, hey, dude, this is like a multi-piece thing here. You're the wayward wife who disrespects me and it's all your fault.
Why do you think that it was Janelle's fault?
She never teamed with me. Never took my side to say boys.
But that is kind of pointing the finger. You're with me or you're with your children.
It's so complicated. No.
I don't know.
It's not
I think it is complicated.
I think Cody recognizes how simple this is and he's kind of getting trapped. So instead of like accepting his responsibility, he goes real low below the belt. Pun intended.
Because if one of my little children were to die because somebody had to get his pencil wet, that made me so mad.
Well, if you're hoping to smooth things over with your sons, I don't think speaking about their girlfriends and them in this way is the most respectful way to go. You know, Cody, sometimes girlfriends become wives. And can you imagine having your father-in-law say stuff like this about you and your future husband? He is so immature. I think he's really trying to paint a picture that the boys are like these depraved creatures, when then the reality is that they were going to school and they were working outside of the home. So they had very good reasons for leaving the home and not applying to these ridiculous COVID rules that Robyn created. And of course, we all remember Robyn's daughter, through no fault of her own, through just going through school, ended up catching COVID and brought it home. And there was no anger for her. So the hypocrisy of how he talks about his sons hypothetically infecting his younger kids, and then the reality that did happen with another child, but there's no blame attached to it. Make that make sense as well. And asking if he wants to make amends with his sons, of course Cody says, heck yeah, I do. And then he gives this apology on his show. You don't have their phone numbers? You can't call them direct?
And now with those two boys, I'm estranged from them. I can't even have conversations with them anymore.
And that disappoints you?
Oh yeah, that's very
Hurts
sad.
you deeply?
Yeah.
Say that to them.
Yeah, boys, I'm sorry. I was trying to protect my family. Next time, I'd manage it differently, and I'm sorry.
Hey, Cody, while you're at it, you might also want to apologize for the pencil comment you just made like 2 minutes ago. So now we're moving the conversation on to Cody's relationship with Janelle.
Maybe try and fix.
Absolutely. I love her. She suffered more in plural marriage, shattered by the experience.
I think he fails to recognize what a rock Janelle is.
If he can't handle my independence, then I don't know if this works for me anymore. There's history, there's children in common, there's attachment, there's habit, and there's affection. But I don't know if it's love.
Do you feel that Janelle has disrespected you in any way?
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't respect me.
Why doesn't she respect you? Well, I'm going to ask her that question.
Yeah, and so she Talk me more here.
Janelle has been nothing but diplomatic and kind throughout this whole interview.
Is it love?
At this point, no. It's duty, it's commitment, it's a faith that tells you you work it out and stick it out. I think if we both really sat down, we'd look at each other and say, really? We've been separated for several months.
What?
Yeah. And I'm happy, really happy.
Do you still respect him now?
I do, but I'm so mad about what's happened with our kids. I'm losing respect for him in that regard.
Wait until she sees the pencil comment.
Cody says he feels disrespected by you.
It's mutual. I think it's a two-way street there. I think if he had truly been watching out for me and my children, he would have figured out a way to make it work for the whole family instead of having his rules and hanging out with the wife, staying where he was respected and obeyed.
Do you want to work on it? Do you want to try and fix it?
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
wanna...
absolutely. Yeah. But I won't go to a place where I'm not respected because love doesn't matter to me. Respect matters to me. We're in a new place. Christine's left. Janelle likes her. Why couldn't you have been good sister wives when you were sister wives? That's such a mess.
This is definitely like a slap in the face for a narcissist. Either you're on their side or you're not. And if you're siding with their ex, that is a huge violation. And that is not going to be something that he's going to be okay with Janelle. What's interesting is, remember, Robyn was asking Christine, can we have a relationship? Can we be friends? And he had no problem with that. So he's also very hypocritical.
And that man that she was married to, she realizes that he's totally different. She just wants a good dad for her kids.
If you could reconcile with the kids, would that change the outcome of you and Janelle sustaining this marriage together?
We could probably reconcile, but you have to understand, okay, this is how plural marriage is a real struggle. Robyn brought her kids that were in our home with 2 adults, ages of Garrison and Gabriel, into full compliance on our COVID agreement.
What Cody is failing to acknowledge here is that these are Robyn's rules. And yes, Robyn did get her kids to follow her rules. But what Cody is trying to do is make the other wives follow one wife's rule and pretend like they're his own. And they're not stupid, and they're not going to fall for it, and they don't need to go above and beyond what the CDC guidelines recommended. And again, Cody gives a reason why it's going to be too hard to get back together, and he is never at fault for any of it.
Cody always wants to find a reason, aside from looking at himself, to justify why he's having a problem with you. I was facing a situation where I did not have housing, where I have been hoping to get out on the property and build for years. They keep throwing up all these objections. Listen, we spent money to get Christine into her house. We spent a lot of money to get Robyn into her house. And I'm simply asking for them to finish the commitment we made paying off this land. If I was prioritized, we would have figured out how to pay off the land and I would be in a house.
She wants to live in Coyote Pass as well.
Yeah.
She wants to be there too.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I'm not choosing it. I didn't make these choices. They did. They're making those choices, but somehow I get lumped into it. Somehow I get pulled into it. And I'm like, leave me the hell out of it.
All right, this is where my empathy for Robyn just hits the road. How does she not understand that she took money that was family money and she used a disproportionate amount to get into this McMansion, and now Janelle, who has worked her whole life, who has scrimped, who has saved, can't afford to have housing now? How does anyone look at that and think anything is okay with that? And this is why I dislike Robyn. I think a lot of people want to defend her because they see that she presents herself in this like idealistic way where she's a good wife and she's doing everything she's supposed to do for her husband. She is a snake in the grass and she will steal everything out from under you. And when you tell her how horrible it is for you, she'll start to fake cry. That is who Robyn is. Ugh.
We spent a lot of money to get Robyn into her house, depleting our accounts.
Well, do you think if Robyn didn't have this house?
Yes, we would have figured out how to pay off the land and I would be in a house. My gosh, we don't have the budget. I don't know. None of that was ever discussed when it was time for Robyn to find a house.
But for some reason, they see you with a functioning relationship with Cody.
Suki really messed up here. I really wish she would have asked Robyn, so if you didn't have that McMansion, then Janelle could afford to build a house. Don't you think it's kind of unfair that you have this huge $1 million home and Janelle has nothing? Why are you not asking these questions? Why are you making it about the relationship? Nobody wants Cody anymore. He's such a freaking loser. They're happy that they get to leave him with Robyn. She deserves him.
No, yeah, they definitely don't see those fights and arguments because I don't air that.
But Cody walks out on a lot of the women when he's in the middle of an argument.
Yeah, he does.
How does she get him to stay?
In my marriage, I'm going to treat this person like my best customer. I'm not going to call him a name. I'm not going to hit below the belt.
Get his pencil wet?
Treat him like crap. I'm not going to do the silent treatment. This isn't okay for you to walk away from this. If you need a break, let's say that. But this is how I've been, and I'm tired of being punished and blamed and people thinking I'm a bad person because I'm communicating. I'm tired of being punished for it. I'm tired of it being somehow a bad thing because it's not. I'm tired of feeling bad that I have a good relationship with Cody when other people don't.
And this is where Robyn gets it so wrong. It's clearly not about that you're communicating and you have a better relationship because of that. It's that you're getting treatment that is better and far above what everybody else is getting. And if this was a new complaint, then you could say, yeah, she didn't know, so she hasn't been able to rectify that course. But this is something that she says she's constantly been told since the time she came on. And we saw that she went on a 10-day honeymoon when the rest of the wives went on a 3-day drive. So she's been getting parental treatment for a very long time. You're living in a McMansion and nobody else has a house except for Christine, who is now gone. So I understand that she doesn't have control over whether she is given favoritism, but once you recognize it, if you're truly worried about the larger family and sitting on a porch in rocking chairs and being the grandparents and having the grandparent ranch, you can't allow yourself to be treated differently than everybody else. That's going to destroy the system. And so she could have, from the very get-go, talked to Cody about that and said, look, I know our relationship is new, so it feels a little bit more exciting right now, but we really need to tap this down. Is she responsible for Cody doing that? No. But is she benefiting? And are there things that if she really is a good sister wife that she could have done to minimize the challenge that this brought to her family? Abso-freaking-lutely yes. The focus seems to be that Robyn is just a better wife. But why isn't the focus on how Cody is being as a husband? I mean, he's the one who signed up for 4 marriages. Why isn't he being held to a higher standard?
Do you think you could ever get back to a relationship that's romantic with Cody?
I've kind of mourned that part of our life is gone. I wasn't heartbroken. It wasn't heartbreaking for me like it was for Christine. We had this great run. I mean, 3 months, we will have been married 30 years. We had our really big fight right before Christmas. He didn't call. He didn't acknowledge Christmas, nothing. And then he blew off our anniversary. And so we finally probably had a phone call March, April, so 3 or 4 months afterwards.
One of the questions that was asked in my comment section was, why is she choosing separated rather than divorced? And I think she might answer that a little bit in this next question.
And part of me thinks, okay, my religion requires that you continue to make a marriage work. And I deeply believe in my faith. And I have been so much at peace. I don't know how to reconcile that. I know I'm happy. I don't want him to come back. But my faith requires that we are married eternally.
So the door is still open.
It has to be, but I'm not interested in having anyone walk through that door.
So I think her religious conviction really helps us understand why she picked separated rather than divorced. She's not really going against her religion if they're just separated. And if she has no plans on moving toward that direction, then she doesn't really need to do anything. It's a little bit of a loophole. It's a religious loophole that she's found, and good for her. It can be difficult when you're completely shifting your behavior from everything that you've ever identified with. And so if she needs kind of a safe spot to kind of land on and get used to this new normal before she decides to go through with a full divorce, then I can understand that. But I'm assuming that she will never do any of that, that she will just separate from him but never finalize anything. Of course, Robyn did tell us the one way to sever the relationship is if she's intimate with somebody else. So I guess she has that in her back pocket.
See yourself living a monogamous life with Cody?
I've really, really struggled with it. I don't know what to do with it. It's messing with my identity.
Okay, so this is terrible, but I have to tell you how I'm really feeling. I would love to watch Robyn and Cody trying to woo new wives. I think it would be so cringy and such a train wreck and hilarious. And I feel like there's enough information about Cody out in the ether that people who would be willing to be on a dating show for our entertainment are angels. And I would be so happy to see this. I think it would be awful. I think it would be cringy. I think it would be funny. I think I would just love to see this. And I would also love to see Robyn kind of get her comeuppance, because I think that's heading her way too. So, and Cody, I don't know. She's going to have to really sell him on this, though. I think he's going to be the hardest one to convince to get on board with this. But I think if anyone can do it, it's Miss Robyn.
But I feel like he doesn't have the capacity for plural marriage.
I'm right on the verge of not even being a polygamist.
He says it's been his identity for 30 years. It's also been his livelihood. So, dating show?
These days, I'm thinking about, well, it's good today, but I really miss the past. For the first time in my life, I'm really looking back a lot and missing some of the past and regretting a bunch of it.
I still don't like Cody, but that's a really sad statement. And I hope he's able to repair some things. I hope he's able to look at himself in a more introspective way. The good thing about pain is sometimes it prompts us to go and get therapy, to change our behavior. Pain can elicit a new way of living. So if you're feeling like you're in a lot of pain right now, keep in mind that it also can create this energy to change and to morph and to grow. And I kind of think that's what we're here for. So that, and to watch Cody date women.
Are you going to stay in it until Cody realizes what he has in you?
This is a terrible conversation, but I think Meri has a good response here.
I don't think Cody realizes the that I am.
I suspect Meri is in a lot of emotional pain, and she's so uncomfortable with her own emotions, the way that she manages them. When she's upset, she kind of laughs and jokes and makes like it's not a big deal. She's talking about a marriage to somebody who has ignored her for 15 years and essentially brushed her off, and she's laughing about it. And there's nothing funny about it. So it just kind of breaks my heart when she jokes about stuff like this. Again, I have problems with Meri. I think on the inside, she's a really good person. I think she has a lot of defense mechanisms that make her seem like a real jerk, because she acts like a jerk sometimes.
Hey, people change. Maybe, like, she is just not for me anymore, and he's now finally just saying it.
Do you wait?
I don't know. Time will tell, won't it? Yeah, it's for me to decide. He's decided, so now what?
I've mentioned before Meri's use of I don't know, I haven't decided as kind of a power play. She uses it as a way of kind of twisting the knife. She did it a lot with the property, where she was like, I don't know which lot I want, but why are you putting me in the trees? I don't want to be in the trees. I never wanted to be in the trees. So I think this is her way of making herself not invisible anymore. And it's not great for her. I think it would be much better for her to stand up for herself and leave. But I also think that this is a way that she's figured out how to still have an effect on Cody. She's not at least invisible anymore when she acts like this. And so I think she's okay with that.
I don't see them looking for another wife.
Do you think Cody would ever think about bringing on another sister wife?
He's basically said no.
You signed up for a plural marriage.
Yeah.
And that's something that you want.
Yeah.
See yourself living a monogamous life with Cody.
That it's messing with my identity. It's not the future I wanted. I want that house with us on the porch and the rocking chairs with our grandkids and our kids around us. You know, the grandparent ranch. And I don't know how to let it go.
So maybe this dating show is on the table.
You and Christine, what is your wish for her?
I hope she finds her soulmate.
That's a nice sentiment that I hope he means. Don't disappear on me. I am going to be uploading videos. I'm going to go back through Sister Wives and watch all of the seasons. Oh my goodness. Come with me for this grand adventure. I will be doing a video on narcissism that's going to be uploaded next week. So don't be a stranger. There's definitely going to be more content coming out. I'm also going to start covering another reality show. I haven't picked it yet. I'm looking forward to creating more content. I'm really happy with the community that we've created. I'm really surprised at how quickly the channel grew, and I really appreciate each and every one of you for commenting, for liking, and subscribing. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And as always, have a wonderful week. Sorry this one was so long. I just kept going and going and going. I had a lot to say. Hopefully you hung in there. If you did, put a 5 in the comments. I'm just curious. How many people stayed to 39:36?